Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, and I'm Ian, and I'm joined by Jarrod tonight.
Yay, just me.
Just you. Please do me a favor and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word, no hyphen. Let's get to the show. Jarrod, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Good. It's been a fine day.
Fine. We're going to talk about Returnal today, this afternoon, morning, evening, whatever you're listening.
It's tonight for us.
Tonight for us.
I guess that's what's happening.
So yeah, before we get way into it, first, Jarrod, I just want to ask you, did you play all day today and beat the game?
No, I didn't play all day, but I did play a lot and got trashed on pretty good.
All right. Well, then, because we haven't finished the game, this is not a review. This is a preview, an impression, our takes on Returnal. We haven't completed the game, just to, let you know. So I'm about 11 hours in. How far are you into the game?
About the same.
About the same? All right. I have a feeling you're way, 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 way farther ahead than I am.
I haven't made much progress in the last day and a half.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We'll get into that later.
Yeah. Well, I just want everyone to strap in. Well, I don't know. This episode could be long or it could be short. Who knows? I want to start a little bit. I mean, this is Returnal. This is a third-person, all kinds of shooting, Metroid, roguelite. It's all the games. Everyone on Twitter has all the comparisons. It's developed by Housemarque, who Jarrod and I have followed for a long time. I think both of us have a pretty good collection of their games.
So I looked at some of their back catalog, and I didn't know that Stardust was released originally on the Amiga.
Oh, really?
The Commodore. So I'm curious if Dave has ever played the original Stardust.
Did they make that game now?
Ask him. It's in their collection of games from the past. So
interesting.
And I don't know how long they've specifically been around as Housemarque, but that's part of their pedigree.
Interesting. Yeah, so I mean, I own Stardust. I have Dead Nation. I have what's the
Alien Nation,
Resogun.
I have Nex Machina.
I think the only one I don't really have, I don't have Matterfall. That was like their last one.
Yeah, I don't have Matterfall either.
But a really solid developer who's always made these kind of, the twin stick shooter games. But like, what would you say? They're like AA, like independent? I don't know.
Premium arcade titles.
Premium arcade titles.
I'm not putting any A's on there. I just really appreciate all their hard work they put in over the years. Those are A+ titles in the arcade scene.
Well, that's my question though. Is like, so what makes this a AAA title when those other titles? What were those other games that the studio? Is it just because there's so many people and so much money went into this game? That's why it's a AAA game? I don't know. I don't know what the difference is or what designates it the difference.
It's a depart from what they usually do, the top-down kind of thing. They've never really done any other perspective, maybe trying to alter the perspective you see the game in, like wrapping around a circle and Resogun and stuff like that, but they've never had a third person other than like the beta of their other game that I can't think of the name of. It's not out. It's like a beta is out right now.
Well, is that the Battle Royale one that they kind of like aren't doing anymore? I don't know.
Yeah, you can still get it, but it's not that important right now. But yeah, I think this one, Sony probably showed up with buckets of money saying, hey, we don't want you to give up on development. We really want you to succeed. And we know you'll do a fantastic job with all this finances and help. Because I'm sure Sony helped them figure out how to develop for the PS5 specifically. Because this game is lightning fast. It takes like 30 seconds to click on the game. All the loading screens you're playing, it's super quick. They got everything down just so smooth, and I really do think Sony really dove in and helped as much as they could financially to hire all the people they needed for that. So I mean, if anybody's calling it AAA, it's definitely because the money was behind it.
Right, right. No, I agree. It's an interesting game because I wasn't super, I wasn't going to be. I don't know. I'm into their games, but I've never bought their games at launch. For really. And then there's just something about this game that I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna support them and get this game, even though it being kind of going in knowing that it was going to be super hard. I was like, this is not an Ian game. This is totally a Jarrod game. And it's funny because I
Oh
bought it.
yeah.
I was the one who bought it first. I bought it and I played it that night, and it sucked me in. But I knew right away. I knew right away that this was a fucking Jarrod game.
Yeah, I've been following this game pretty closely, and I didn't get it launch day, did I? No, I got it like the day after. I got it on Saturday,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and played the hell out of it that first night, maybe 5 hours or something like that straight.
So what was impressive to me, Jarrod, is that you made it to you beat the second boss in how many deaths?
I died one time on like the first harder enemy in the game, and then the second time was on the first main boss. And then I made it all the way past the second boss and most of the way through the third level before before dying again. I must have just had a really lucky streak because everything past that has not been so lucky.
Well, I didn't beat the first boss until 10 hours in, and I died all matter of ways. And
that third phase really kept on getting you, huh?
no, second phase. I didn't get to the third phase for the longest time. I just had
Oh.
the shittiest loadouts, and something I've learned playing this game is to be intentionally slow and grind out all the level. Whereas before, when I first started playing, I was just kind of just playing, and when I would get there, I'd do it, and just anyway, it's been a very interesting adventure for me to learn how to play this game, and I've died like 17 times. So anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've died plenty of times. The tracker that you see, doesn't it only track the amount in the last hour or something like that, or is it like for complete game time?
uh, I don't know. I feel like it's the same every time you go into your ship and see it. I feel like it updates
Yeah.
everything.
Oh, yeah, that part, yeah. Okay. But yeah, I had this mod. I must have gotten it pretty early on my, third run, to make it all the way through that where when my health was low, it auto-generated like a small portion of it. And that, man, on the second boss, that helped me out of the corner so many times. It's unbelievable. And I would love to find that mod again. And I don't even remember the specifics of it, but it's very apparent. And it had like this negative effect where every dead enemy had acid dropped
Oh,
under
interesting.
them.
Oh, yeah.
So every time you ran through that, it hurt you a little bit, but it's not devastating.
Right. I think the mod I finally got was when you were in adrenaline. So when you keep killing enemies and you don't take any hits, your adrenaline builds. And so when you're in adrenaline, every time you kill an enemy, it restores a little bit of health. So as long as you stay in that, you can just your health just stays up. It just keeps the damage you do just kind of adds health. So that one was incredibly useful, and then I was just able to stack my health bars and just get massive health bars, and so it just I went into that first enemy way overpowered, and I just went no problem.
Okay.
I just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, I got this figured out, and then I went right through to the enemy of the second biome, and I got all the way to the second phase, but the third phase just fucked me. And
Yeah, that boss was pretty challenging. I'm surprised I made it through on my first try. That was wild, wild. My wife said like the day after, like, I heard you kept on saying like, "Oh fuck, oh shit," that kind of stuff, and she's like, kind of worried about me. But the fun part about games like this though is it's so frantic. while you're playing, your mind and eyes are just so focused.
Right.
And then when the boss finally dies, all you can hear is your heartbeat just thumping,
Oh,
thumping. Your hands, you can feel it through your hands, and everything is just going nuts. It's
me
so
was
exciting, and it's so good. It feels so awesome.
that first boss. I was just like, I mean, it's stupid. Like, it's funny because I suck at these games, and so like reading on Twitter, everyone's like, oh, I'm in the blah blah blah. Well, I beat the game in like 8 hours. All this shit. Like, and I'm like, I'm still here like 10 hours in, haven't come close. And I haven't. The cool thing about this game is that like when I do something wrong or I die, I know it's not the game. It's me. It's my fucking fault. I did something stupid or I wasn't paying attention. Like I have not yelled at the game for being cheap or I usually I'm super vocal about that shit. But
Yeah.
no, I just like, okay, I died, fuck. And then I keep going. And then when I beat that boss and I was like, fuck, and I was just like pounding the floor and I scared the shit out of my dog and I was just like, it was so hilarious. It's like, I was like, cuz I fucking 10 hours I've been trying to fucking grind to like get to this guy, and it was such a rewarding process. And it's not, cuz I'm not a big roguelite fan. It's not a game. Most of the games in this genre are like 2D indie games. They're not
Yeah,
games.
I've played several of those, and I like them quite a bit.
Right, but for me, it's not a game I'm really. But the fact that they've packaged this third-person shooter, shoot 'em up game in this kind of genre, it makes me really interested in the game, and so I keep coming back, and I find it interesting. And even when 10 hours in the same fucking area, just grind. I found I found it very interesting and fun and compelling. The combat is so fun. It's so compelling, and the way the DualSense controller interacts, and the sound of the game, and just how it all comes together in a package that's like, just I find it. I don't know. I was in a huge video game rut, burnout, and this game has literally pulled me out of it. It's just something I've never tried, and I'm just really into it. And I'll probably never beat this game, but I'm gonna spend a lot of hours in it. And I feel like even at a point where I do tap out, I feel like I will have gotten what I wanted out of the game. I find this game it's wonderful. I'm so into it. I don't know what do you want to add to that, Jarrod? But
So I knew this was a game I was going to dive into whenever I had a chance. So I bought the digital version. I've been buying disc mostly because I bought that system, and I'm glad I did because a lot of times I'll find that I have like 45 minutes here to sit down and play, and I can just click on the button and bam, 30 seconds later I'm playing as the character. And what I really appreciate about that game right now, I've been repeating the first the first and the third level because you can find the different warp areas to either one of those areas in the first zone once you complete them. But every time you start from the beginning, the first room after you leave your ship will be different but similar because it's always if you've visited each of these areas a lot of times, you know what these rooms are, you know where the secrets are and stuff like that, but the pattern of the enemies and the different enemies that are in each room varies, so you're always on your toes, so you're not just stuck in familiar territory and stuff like that. And of course all the items are varied every time you go through, so there's that variety. I do appreciate it for things that other rogue style games do, as like some of the levels are just so random, they don't really fit together super well, and they just seem like, oh yeah, this is totally random. But this one has established sections. Just every time it's in a way different order. Some of them you may see one time, some of them you may not. And there's a lot of secret zones, and they vary enough to switch it up a lot for you.
I feel
And
like I'm still coming across, even in the very first biome. Now that I've made it to the second one, as I play the first one again, there's still places. Well, this is a
yeah,
new layout. I never came across this one before.
Yeah, I'm still bumping into new ones after 11 hours. I mean, of course, not all my time has been spent in that one biome, but the third biome is one that has been pretty obnoxious for me. You have to be very specific about the weapons you want in that one because there's an enemy in that one, Ian, that has like guided rockets and will kamikaze into your ass. And it's not just one, but many, and they hurt really bad. It's not like, oh, a rocket hit me, cool, just a little bit of damage. It is really devastating, and that's the enemy that's been frustrating me the most and been taking me out the most. They're called drones,
Right, right,
and
right.
just you wait, you'll have a blast because most of the other enemies, just keep your distance, dodge the attacks, to do the normal things, strafe, dodge,
Right, right, right.
uh, knock them down, hit them with your melee. Because when they're knocked down and kind of flashing, if you get close to them with your sword and you can attack them with your sword, it will do really big damage.
Right.
So I try that as much as I can. But using a shotgun style weapon or even a slower like rocket launcher, I've had troubles with that kind of thing. So for most of the game, I prefer using what's called the Hollow Seeker, which is a rapid firing, like guided rocket thing that has tons of ammo. And depending on the version of it you get, because there's a lot of different perks each weapon can have on any given run. Sometimes it will have like extra things that trail off and are guided, or just really shred the enemies. So it's really good to watch out for the perks. Even if it's like the same level, you really just want to pay attention to that kind of stuff when you're switching weapons. The other weapon I really like is the tachyomatic carbine. It's like the assault rifle in the
Right,
game,
right, right.
and some versions of that you can get really just cut through the enemies like butter. It's crazy how powerful that gun can feel.
Right.
Either one of them, really.
There's the one, the tachyon one that like its speed ramps up. It gets faster and faster and faster as you fire it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that'll
um,
take anything down in a second.
yeah, no, it's interesting. I'm not. I mean, the shotgun is crazy powerful, but I feel like you have to be crazy aggressive. You like like because at point blank range, that's shotgun version, whatever it's called, splatter or something, it'll take an enemy down like nothing. But then,
Yeah, it's a great weapon for the first biome, but when you get to well, especially the third biome, because there's a lot of flying enemies, the shotgun is pretty much null. It's out.
right,
You can't use it. But then there's like this really cool rocket launcher, which is semi guided. It's not really guided. It depends on the version you get, but you can only launch 3 rockets, and if you miss the timing of the active reload system, it takes forever to reload.
what is okay?
And
I have a question. I haven't. Here's the thing. This game basically teaches you nothing. There are so many things you just kind of have to figure out. Um, what? Why is the active reload system? Why does the bar change size? Is there a reason why certain times it's tiny and certain times it's bigger?
I think it has to do with several things. There's the weapon type, of course. Some weapons will, like the slime one.
Yeah, but no, but I
The
mean, I'm saying like certain times with the same weapon, it'll have a small reactive window, and other times it'll have a big active window.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I haven't really noticed a ton of that. I just noticed some of the weapons make you react much quicker, so you can fire
Right.
quicker. But some of them are very slow. Maybe the other ones, or as your proficiency
Maybe.
increases,
Maybe.
because you can collect little pieces that will level up your proficiency in weapons, and that I think goes up to like it goes pretty high. You can get that number up really high. I
Well, there's
think
a
my highest
trophy.
is 18.
There's a trophy to get it at 30. So
Oh dang. Okay, I've had it as high as 18 at this point.
no, I haven't gotten that high. I
So
think the highest
yeah,
I've had is 9 or 10.
yeah. That's what I average at this point is 8 or to 10. Yeah, but it probably has a lot to do with that. So like it'll give you more time if you're more proficient at the weapon.
Maybe that makes
So
sense.
yeah, that would make sense to me. There's so many little countermeasures in the game that just can really throw you off. But
So much shit you have to learn though. Like it
yeah,
doesn't teach you like it doesn't really teach you about the parasites. It doesn't really teach you about I didn't know that, I just recently learned like the gated there's chests behind gates. There's actually locks you can switch on, and they'll
Oh, you
unlock.
didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
So the easiest way for someone just starting the game is, sometimes there's a chest behind a gate. There's only one that I haven't been able to figure out how to get, but you can hold your L2 trigger down halfway to target, and you can actually, when you're wearing headphones, you can really tell where it is because it chimes a specific sound. And you can easily find it that way. And sometimes it's in a tricky area. Sometimes it's just really easy to get to.
So one
But
thing,
use your headphones
right.
big time.
Well,
in that game.
but here's the one thing about the headphones that I don't. Okay, I like the headphones because you have the 3D audio, which is fucking crazy. But at the same time, if you have that up and it's loud and you're fighting, one thing that's super helpful that the controller does is it chimes when your alt fire is ready, and you won't hear that. So it's like. It's kind of a weird thing.
You do hear the buildup in your headphones because it does like this womp 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 and sound, and when it's active, it does that chunk sound, and your controller rumbles a little bit extra or slightly different.
I feel like
so
it's way more useful when I'm like not wearing, because I pay way more attention to it when I'm not wearing the headphones, because I play both ways. When my wife's watching TV, I'll wear headphones and I'll play, and then when I'm just anyway, I really appreciate the chime, like ching, it's ready, and like, because that's so fucking helpful.
It is very loud. It is loud. I did it for the first time today without headphones, and that was very noticeable. And I did find myself using my alternate fire way more often, because like you really need to use all your resources to your advantage, and your alternate fire is extremely powerful and useful in a lot of cases. Like there's one that's like this charge. You keep holding the button down. It's like an electrical beam that goes pretty far. The range is really far. There's another one that's a focused laser that just destroys. You can like wave it across a big bunch of enemies and it'll take them all out.
Then you got like homing missiles and
there's a lot of really cool ones. The effects in this game are just so above the line.
Well, if you know,
like,
I mean,
it's so beautiful.
If you've played a Housemarque game, they're that kind of look, that kind of pixeled look of like, I mean, that shoot 'em up look, the voxel look. I don't know if it's voxels here, but it has. I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah, I don't think it is voxel. They use the Unreal Engine 4.
Right, so I don't think it's not, but it's very their look. It's very what they do, and it's just so. It's like it's literally if you were playing Nex Machina, but you're a third-person shooter, basically, except not as frantic as that game, but
the only game I've heard described that makes me think of it, I haven't heard anybody reference it, and I really want to buy it. It's on sale on the Switch right now. It's called Risk of Rain 2.
Oh, I have that.
Yeah, and that sounds like it's very similar to the style. I don't know if it's as arcadey with the big glowy balls flying around, stuff like that.
Hey, Jerry, if you buy it for PS4, I'll play it with you, because it's like a 4-player co-op game.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so that's a thought someday. I'll watch it on sales.
Playing it by yourself is hard.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. I like a challenging game from time to time.
Yeah.
This one I feel it'll take me a little bit longer to get through because I don't know, I really need to figure out a good method on those drones. And,
I would say it's not exactly like Risk. I mean, it's the concept is kind of, because it changes. It's kind of roguelite like that. But
roguelite third person
combat
shooty thing.
Nowhere is rewarding. I mean, it's fun. It's like a paint. It's like Borderlands. It's like an asshole difficulty Borderlands game.
Okay.
Anyway,
that sounds fun.
But no, yeah. I mean, Returnal. It's I don't know. It's a lot of people are saying it's like Metroid, because clearly it has that Metroid thing going on.
Oh yeah, totally. As a Metroid fan, I can see a lot of the similarities, and it would be funny to see in the future when people start putting this kind of stuff on the PC and modding it and things like that. People will totally add the various suit and have the ball and all that stuff. I mean, I have the grappling hook thing, which, that's in Metroid games, and that thing, by the way, feels really good to use.
See,
I think you're gonna have a lot of fun.
That's why I have to beat the second boss, because the second boss is where you get that, and
Yeah, so it's very satisfying how far you can drag yourself with that thing. It's super cool. It feels really good.
I mean, I have a pretty good feeling that you're gonna beat this game, right? I think you got this one, right?
I don't know how many biomes there are, and I don't really care. Like I just want to play the game. It's so fun. Like I'll die, and like the worst I'll say is, "Oh damn." And you know, I got really excited when I was fighting that second boss. You know, I was cussing and swearing and shit like that because I was just having such a good time, and had so many risks that I kept on taking, and some of them paid off, some of them didn't. You know, you really have to duck and weave. You know, you
Oh,
really
for
have to
sure,
pay
for
attention
sure.
to your moves and everything around you. It's just such a interesting game to describe because anybody that has ever played an arcade game like what I don't know, just anything where you're surrounded all the time.
Like a shoot 'em, any shoot 'em up.
Any twin stick shooter, it's the third person version of that, and it is perfect. It works excellently. They really figured this out, and I hope. I mean, by the sounds of it, they're selling quite a few copies. I hope this is exactly what they needed to spruce up their bank account so they can keep going and making these games.
Well, it's interesting because like we talk about running, making. I mean, it really comes down to a run. You kind of know, like it's kind of luck because obviously it's the drops you get, complete luck.
Yeah,
So like you kind of know when you have a shitty run and you're gonna die because you didn't get the shit you want. But when you start getting the shit you want, you know you're building a good run, and then you just kind of like you just keep building upon that layer, and then it's like, okay, I think I'm ready to kill the boss, and then you go in there and it's like, nah. Or at least for me,
yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
So just to if people are really scared to play this, you know, I understand that, but when you're ready, you're ready. There's some places where you spend this money called obolites, and you can buy what it's a astronaut action figure, pretty much, which will give you an extra life.
Yeah.
Just one. And there's also a little respawn area that you have to spend ether, which is one of the things you get to keep permanently. Like as you collect ether through the game, it's one of the things that you keep when you die.
Right.
Most things you don't keep. You keep, you know, it's the weapons you get from defeating the bosses, and you know, important things like your teleporter and things like that.
I think the ether
Um,
respawn, you don't keep your parasites. The astronaut, I think you do.
Yeah. The astronaut, you keep everything. I believe I don't remember the parasite part, but I've never actually used the respawn point. I can't remember what that's specifically called, but I've never spent that much ether because it costs like like 6 ether, and I usually
I
don't have
have
enough
used
to
that.
do
I
it.
have used that, Jarrod, and I don't know if you know this, but if you do the daily challenges, you get a
I
shit.
haven't yet.
Oh, so do a daily challenge, you'll get a shit ton of ether.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right, that's good to
So
know.
yeah, like the last one I did, you get 5 ether. So it was like, oh, okay. So I've used. That's actually how I beat the other. I did the save the respawn ether point because I went in thinking I had it locked down, and then I got fucked. Went back, reloaded, built up, got some more stuff, went in and just annihilated him. So like sometimes you have to go into a build a run, just thinking like, all right, this is the build I like. I want to save this build, but if I fuck up, I can tweak it just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little teeny bit. Yeah,
I know what I needed, so let's go. It'll respawn. I'll do some grinding, and then I'll go back in, and so that's kind of like, and it's like now that I know how to play the game, kind of more so like take my time and figure out. Because sometimes you just get shit, and you just, this is not gonna. I mean, I can go in there and fight, but I just know I'm not gonna do very well. It's
yeah.
so
Well,
random sometimes.
yeah, and sometimes I'll do a run where I'm just like I want to use a specific weapon that I collected because as you use it, you get upgrades for those weapons that are permanent.
Right.
So, you, like, it might go with armor piercing rounds, and you have to earn it by using the gun. And once you unlock it, it's a permanent thing. You don't have to unlock it again. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's on. It's not on every iteration of the gun, but when you do get the version of the gun that has all these different augments to it, having them all unlocked at the same time is golden. That's how you're going to get through the game, is by actually spending the time switching your weapons, seeing what you need to unlock as an augment that you have to use your weapon and, defeat a bunch of enemies. Get the percentage number up to 100% so you can utilize that in the future runs.
Right.
Because otherwise your gun, it'll just have its random super special alternate fire, and sometimes it'll have like an extra different roll on it, stuff like that. But you really, really need to focus on unlocking all that stuff. Even if it's a weapon you don't like, maybe it will turn into something you like, or will be something really important in future levels.
Right.
Because, as I said, like the slower, shorter range weapons don't really work in the third biome. So I'm not spending much time with those at this point. But I have a feeling some future biome will be close combat again. So I need to start ramping those weapons up more. One thing I have to say is I really wish you could use a second weapon. Because sometimes that short range, powerful weapon would be so awesome. And sometimes it would not.
You got the sword.
Which I've been doing runs where I do like all the intro stuff I'm doing with the sword, just so I can get proficient at dodging and practicing with my sword. Because like doing a dodge straight into an enemy with following up with a sword is really devastating. I don't think it powers it up at all, but it really gets through their, I think it just kind of throws them off. And it takes them a while. Like the dogs in the beginning that shoot the like blue ball things, there you can see when they're charging, so you want to do it right before they do that. And you
Right.
can really just do some damage, because that sword, if there's like 3 of them together, you can swipe the one in the middle. You probably hit all 3 and kill them all. It's really powerful. And the more of your bonus adrenaline that you get, one of them, I think level 3, ups the strength of your sword. So not getting hit, of course, in any game is important.
Right.
But this one is extra important. And I suck at that. Yeah, it really rewards you. Yeah.
That's the other thing
It's crazy.
I didn't know, that you buy that little artifact, the Blade Dancer artifact that increases your sword power, and that's how you break the yellow doors down. I didn't even fucking know that shit. Like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how you break those doors. You get that
artifact. Because on one of the biomes, I did a run, and there was a treasure chest surrounded in that. I'm like, oh,
yeah, you need
dang,
that,
okay.
You need that artifact, and that's how it increases the power, and you can kick it down.
Okay, yeah, okay, cool. So you just need to beef up your sword a little bit.
Yeah, so you need to go grind some motherfuckers, get some more oblites or whatever they're called, or whatever, and
oblette. I don't know, something.
And then I also noticed, and this is, I don't know, you probably noticed it too, but like the statues that have yellow glowing eyes, you break those, and they have extra inside. So you can, if you've kind of like gone through a level and nothing's spawning, if you find the statues with that shit in it, it'll kind of.
Yeah, and it's satisfying when your sword is powerful enough to swipe your sword once and knock those down. And like the really big statues, if you're at the foot of it and you swipe your sword at it and it just crumbles right in front of you. It's really tall and it looks so cool when it's all falling apart. So really awesome.
But that's also cool about the game, that like not just those statues, but there's other like kind of structures that like when you're fighting, after a while, the enemies will break them down. So it has that kind of interactive like world. Like if you're hiding, it's
well. You may remember Resogun, like as you're fighting on that and things are exploding, like all the background shit's exploding and the voxels are just flying everywhere. I think they just really loved that as a company, and they're like, we got to throw in destruction in this game. And yeah, there's several things. Not everything is destructible, but there's enough to make it really cool. And it's fun just to kind of blow stuff up when you're running around exploring. It just looks so cool and it's fun to do.
Well, Jarrod, we've talked a lot about the gameplay, what we've thought of the gameplay, I think we both love the gameplay. What do you think? Let's talk about. I mean, this is like kind of one of the first PlayStation 5 exclusives. How is it like graphically? How is it story wise for you?
So graphically, I guess I'll start there. But graphically, I like a lot of games you can like walk up on things and they'll look kind of funny if you get too close. Like you weren't really supposed to pay much attention to certain textures. But this, like everything is to a certain detail where they think, oh, somebody will probably stand here and stare at this for a little bit. You know, everything is super high res texture, but like some of the grass, like wiggly grass, I noticed one time I stopped and was looking at something, and I turned just a little bit and it disappeared, and then I turned right back a little bit and it kind of popped in. So I think the point of view, most third person games will, you know, once you turn around, it'll, you know, clear that data and, you know, refresh it. This one might do it a little early on some things as you're walking around. So, you know, you might notice that. I only noticed it that one time. So, but there's such cool environmental details. There's a lot of different lighted plants and stuff like that in that first biome. And in the trailer, you'll see like these plants that are attracted to you that kind of light up and kind of follow you around. Those things are really cool. They're not dangerous or anything, but they're really, really cool. There's
Kind of
just so
creepy.
much.
Kind of
Yeah,
creepy.
yeah. They're really pretty creepy. And there's so much like environmental shit flying around that it's so cool. I mean, like it's not perfect. Like some of the leaves, you know, like flying around. I don't know. They look cool, but you can tell it's just like you know, uh, it's just a little tiny detail. They can't really flush out that kind of thing in perfect detail because nobody's really going to be paying attention to it. Like, but you notice when the wind is blowing a certain way, you know, all the leaves are going to be brushing by it that direction and
But it
stuff like
runs
that. It's really, really awesome.
fucking. It's slick. The game is so quick. Even you
Yeah,
know.
I haven't bumped into any glitches or anything like that yet, except for
Oh, I
today. I
have.
bumped into some weird audio glitches
Oh,
where,
okay.
like, I was playing it through my TV speakers, and it did this like loud, bassy rumble sound. Is like a certain enemy through a door. I just had to ignore that door and
Oh,
just go through a
interesting.
portal instead. It was really crazy. I thought I was gonna pop my speakers or something like that. It's crazy.
I've had the glitch, and hopefully they've patched it because I think they dropped a patch today or something. But where you can't go through a door, like everything becomes you're locked inside a room. Like you can't get through. It won't open or anything. So you're just kind of like you have to restart the cycle because you're just kind of like, oh, like I've had it one time where I spawned restarted. I woke up and as I went to the door, it just was shut and I couldn't go through it. So I had to restart it and then it was fine. And then I had another time where I was entered a room where there was a chest. Opened the chest. After I opened the chest, as I went to go out the door, it just wouldn't open and I had to restart all over again. So I've had that happen and I've seen other people have that problem. But other
Uh,
than that, I have not had any audio or graphic issues or no weird. It's just been for some reason. I don't know why that's happened, but
there every once in a while I think I try to walk through one of the portals a little too quickly, so I'll just walk through the portal and have to go back around to go through it and get teleported. I don't know if that's just a glitch or if I'm just doing it too quick because it's happened at the same portal several times.
yeah, no. Are you talking about like the Crimson, like just like the basic? I feel like it has a opening
No,
starting.
not that one to go to the second world. It's on that second world where you have where you're going and climbing to the peak or
Oh,
whatever, you
okay,
know,
right,
you're
right, right. The
yeah,
little
and
ball ones.
no, not the ball one. It's actually one that kind of pops and folds out of the ground.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
oh,
really cool looking when they
right.
open and form. It's super cool. I think I just try and go through it too quickly. There's several different types of portals in the game, and they all have really cool effects. Like the first one you get, it's a permanent thing that you keep that you can go through those portals, and it looks really cool because they're like a sphere, and as you approach it, you know the sphere kind of breaks apart to make way for you to pop in it, and then you hit triangle, and it pops you into this little bright blue orb, which looks awesome, and it kind of takes you up to the next zone. It looks really cool.
So the story then, how do you feel about how what there is of a story? I mean, you're a little bit further than I am. No spoilers, but I mean, I find it uh so far I'm kind of I guess I'm just waiting for more.
Yeah, I still have a lot to learn. Like the house in the first biome, I visited that what I think so far like 4 times, something like that. You can revisit it several times after you get the key, but not every time you go through that zone will the door be open.
Right.
But it's neat because as you're walking by, she'll actually comment, "Hey, it's open again." In her voice. She the voice actor did a really good job in that game, by the way. But that stuff is really interesting. I like that. I'm really curious of her idea of what that is all about. I don't want to go into too much right here, but the other entity that she keeps envisioning, I'm really curious if what she thinks it is correct and where that's going to go with her personal life. But then there's also, of course, the lore of Atropos, which is the world you're on,
Right.
and like what happened to it. It looks like it got devastated. You see a lot of stuff that happened, and it actually has. As you're exploring, you'll bump into these archives, and they're really cool because as you walk up to them, you'll see in the distance, you'll see all this really cool, like light blue spheres, like thousands of them just laying there. And as you approach them, they slowly push away into shapes. And then it will tell you a little bit about what is in the archive and give you that information. And there's like 4 in each area, and it's really really cool. I like that aspect of it. So I am a big fan of world building and lore. Like obviously she is not. Uh, I don't know if it's a spoiler where she's from, uh, but that hasn't really been identified in the game either. But uh, just from what I've seen, it is not Earth.
It's also I as also interesting. I like how the game has built in the whole living, dying, repeating. Like it's in the she dies and she keeps referring to her dying, and she picks up logs that say, in this run, I don't know if I can make it because of the stuff that's ahead, and I don't know if I can fight it. There's all this kind of
Oh, the audio logs, yeah, those
right.
are
So it's
great.
just how there's a reason you die and you restart, and she doesn't know why, but you keep hearing. It doesn't make dying feel like a penalty.
Yeah, like I still haven't unlocked all the audio logs in the first zone.
Right. Right.
I've
Right.
I've been through the first zone a lot of times, but I haven't gotten all the audio logs, and I really like listening to those. And if you want to listen to them again, of course you can go and listen to all that stuff or read it. So I mean, they're all the information that you get in the game. If you need like a refresher course or anything like that, it's always there, so you can go in there. They have a lot of information that you can look at, even like the logs on each enemy. The more you fight that enemy, the more information about that enemy you can read about in the logs. So that's really cool. Same with the weapons and everything. Like the more you use the weapon, the more mods you unlock for each weapon, the more information you can read about it and look at it. The game is really data heavy, and that you don't have to really care about that stuff. But if you really want to read about every enemy, there's some information there for you. If you like to read in a game when you're just like, I'm really kind of pissed off at the game, but I just kind of want to just sit in the world. You can
For
read
sure.
about it. You can
For
look at
sure.
all the stuff. Yeah, so there's a lot of information. I really appreciate a game that has a lot of lore built up around it,
Right.
and I can tell that whoever wrote that story had a wonderful team that put all this together and figured out why and how and when and everything about each class of enemy and why they're there. And yeah, I don't know, it's so weird. Like even certain enemies, it'll say like certain information is redacted because you don't have it yet.
Right.
it'll just have like these blank spots. So you really want to fill that information in and read about it. So I want more. I do. I almost brought my PlayStation 5 out here to play
Oh,
while I was
wow.
recording this
No.
podcast.
What?
Yeah, I'm out in the garage, so
Well, something else I think, is important to say, and it's a testament to the next gen consoles, is the fact that this is a game that's based around dying and playing again, and it is awesome to not have any fucking load times. Like, how much would load times kill this fucking game?
oh, big time. Because as I stated earlier, like beyond, I don't exactly recall what happens the first time you play the game. It does like a setup, you can set
Oh,
up certain things.
right.
But every time you load the game up from that point, you never see a menu when you load. It's like
It'll do a cut.
PlayStation Studios, here's Housemark and this other screen, and then it flashes to
And you can
the
skip,
beginning of every time you spawn
and you can
in.
skip all that shit too. You can press X.
Yeah, you can
it'll
skip
it, and it'll go right back into the game.
but
So
I don't skip it because it's so quick anyway.
it's so quick anyway. Right.
Yeah, so it's really cool. Like earlier I mentioned, like if I have a short period of time, I'm not sitting there loading a game for a minute and a half before I even touch the controller. It's like 30 seconds later after all the splash screens, and you crash again,
Right.
and you're playing.
It's so
And
great.
within 30 seconds, you're in, you're playing.
No load between zones. You play, you fight. Maybe there'll be a little cutscene. Cutscenes are quick. They're never like super drawn out. And then you play, you die. Quick cutscene, and you're, oh, I can do better. And that's another thing I find funny. Like, she's like, I can do it. She's always like being positive.
Yeah, I can do it this time. Yeah, it's super cool. It just like when I played through Demon Souls, playing that on the PS3, it was over a minute to load every time you died, and you were dying often. And I think that's probably why I didn't really stick with the game back on the PS3. But PS5, I jumped into that one and I couldn't put it down. You die, the fog pops up, you're in. There you go.
Right.
And yeah, it's just so lightning fast. It's really impressive. I'm just really curious. Like, this is early in the PS5. This is like one of the first like built for from scratch. This is a PS5 game.
Right.
Like Demon Souls was a remake, which they kind of used some of the skeleton of the original one and just kind of remastered. No, not remastered. Like, everything was redone. It's a beautiful, wonderful game, but it had a base that they worked off of. This one is just that. It's PS5,
Right.
and they did a really, really good job. It's amazing.
So one of the things I would be remiss not to mention while we're recording this is there's a big argument on the internet right now. Where do you stand on not being able to save? Like, there's some people that think you should be able to save during mid-run.
I do wish it would do some, like, if you had to shut the game down, like, I can't really just put my system into sleep mode and walk away and expect it to be there when I get back, because my daughter also plays on my PS5. So I was like, hey, I want to play Minecraft. Oh, no, honey, you can't play today. Why? Because my game is waiting for me right now, and I can't play it until you go to bed. So, no, I can't do that,
Right.
I'm like, here, play the Switch. Oh, the Switch sucks. My 7-year-old doesn't like the Switch. She likes the PS4, PS5. She likes all that stuff. So I'm sure a lot of people are in that situation where, yeah, cool, put it in suspension, but then the rest of the house will attack your system and like, yeah, I'll close the game. I want to play mine.
Right. So
Yeah,
that's your. But if you didn't have a family, would you give a shit?
No.
No.
Yeah, because you can put it in sleep mode, whatever. There's an online mode, but I have never bumped into another Celine where I can follow her to wherever she died, because that's the game has an online feature.
Well,
that,
supposedly, well, there is so the online mode is weird. Obviously, there's you can donate currency, and then the currency builds up. Have you done that?
No.
Okay, so you can donate currency, and then occasionally you'll get artifacts and stuff.
Oh, that's the red bed thing you lay on, right?
No. That's different. No, in the main, kind of before a big area, there's like the artifact generator,
Yeah.
and then there's like a one on there's one on the left that says, "Hey, you can donate this, and thank you for your donation," and it'll keep donate. You'll keep getting.
That's the one. I thought it.
Because you'll get PlayStation notifications.
Yeah, I got one of those.
Thank you for your donation. So that's one of the online things. The second online thing is it'll tell you when your friends die.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
Oh, so I've seen you. I got.
You must not have turned that on.
No, mine's on.
Yeah, I haven't seen any notifications.
So I got a
about you dying.
notification when you were on today, like, oh, Jarrod was last seen in this place. But the third one with the body, I think they turned it off because it's not working properly. So they haven't gone back and turned that back on yet. So there's supposed to be a one where you can like kind of like redeem your friend or something, or a different Celine that's your friend.
Yeah, I don't think it's a friend. It's just anybody online that died
in that area.
Random, yeah.
But I think if it's
other games have done stuff like that.
Right.
You know, like but not interact directly. Like a Demon's Souls, you can see how somebody died and be like, oh, I better not do that.
But I was reading something that I think they deactivated it during the beta or something because it's not working properly. So we'll see if they reactivate that soon or not. But
yeah, I'm interested. That sounds fun because like some of the people that previewed the game were able to jump into that, and they were talking about like, yeah, you follow it. Sometimes you get an item. Sometimes you have to fight like a big boss kind of a creature, and most of the time they got their asses kicked kind of thing. And that sounds like a lot of fun. Speaking of, as you go farther, in some of the areas, there's like this little thing that looks like an obelisk that you collect, and you end up falling through the floor to like a bonus area, which usually on the first and second areas, they give you items, and it's nice. The third zone, some of them have a big, nasty boss fight. And I've died on like 2 of those so far, and they were pretty frustrating because I didn't like it.
Nice.
Because that was some of the runs I did like quick trying to do whatever. So I'm like, oh, okay, these are cool. I can drop in and get something free. And then I get down there, it's like, oh, no.
Nice. Yeah, no, I haven't. I think the only special areas you drop in and there's like the 4 chests. And sometimes the chests have only good stuff, and sometimes the chests have only enemies. That's the only.
Oh yeah. There's like a couple that have the obelisk, the money, and there's like the other ones all have the enemies. Which,
no, I've had one where it's all good stuff, and I've had ones where it's just all enemies.
Though there is one of those bonus rooms that has 3 chests that are all different weapons.
No, I've gotten to that one a lot of times.
I love those. Yeah, I love that one.
I see. It's all random. It's all random anyway. So all that shit's just kind of,
And sometimes you can actually get a consumable, an item that you can use that will be a portal to one of those rooms. So it's really cool. And then when you leave, you teleport exactly back to where you used the item. I love that one. That one's really cool. Like sometimes, you're like, oh man, I really want the item right now at this moment. So you trade it with one of your others, use it, and then switch back to the other one. Because you can only have, after a while, you can use 2 collectibles. I have 2 right now.
After you beat the first boss, I can use multiple.
Yeah, so that's very handy. But that's just crossing back over into gameplay and features and stuff like that.
That we're all very excited for. And well, Jarrod, we've like been talking about this for like an hour.
Has it already been that long?
Yeah.
I could talk about this game for days. I love this game, and
hopefully
I want to play more of it.
Hopefully, if you beat it, I don't know if I'll ever beat it, but if you beat it, we'll come back. We'll circle back and we'll do a proper send off to the game.
So after a while, I don't know if you've unlocked it yet, but at the beginning, before you leave your ship, there's that weird looking thing off to the left. Did you ever get that cutscene? Okay, so that thing is essential to finding new items.
The one that
because
creates items for you?
Yes,
Yes.
because every time you die and start over, if you have 3 ether, you can use it on that thing, and it will always generate a new item
Yeah.
that will randomly spawn in your following playthroughs.
Well, not just
Uh,
3. I have one. I did one that's up to. It asked for 5.
oh, okay. So I guess that's random. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
So yeah. So I need to start using that more often. Sometime soon, I hope to save a bunch so I can uh save enough for the replicator,
Well,
for respawn and
Jarrod, that
of.
thing you can bank them in there. So like if you spend 3 in it and you don't have enough, it'll just save it.
Oh,
It'll
I mean
bank
it.
them.
Yeah. Okay,
So
that's cool.
so like you can go off and anyway.
Yeah, so you don't forget and spend it on
Well,
something
I don't
else.
know. It's just like if
Yeah.
like you got a bunch in a run and then you spent ether on something else, but when you came and you died and you came back, if you had a couple more, it's like, oh, I only need 1 now or something. Yeah, it'll bank them.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, and that replicator that you were talking about earlier, you show up and there's one like off to the left, and then in front of you there's like 4 different ones which you can spend your money on. But today, yeah, I got a message saying, "Hey, thank you for spending whatever," and it gave me a free like item. That's
Right.
pretty nice.
Oh.
But I always thought that was just for like if you want more ether, you spend your money, your oblits
Yeah, but
on
there's
it.
I feel like the initial reason to use it is you donate to it and then
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know, you have
May I
cuz
need to reread the verbiage on that, I guess.
I guess so cuz every once in a while I'll just come by and oh, there's a free thing there.
Yeah, okay, that's awesome. Because yeah, I usually don't put anything into it. It's like, oh, I don't have much money. Because lately, what I've been doing is like sometimes you'll run and it's like the second room, so you don't have enough money to put in it.
Right,
But
but
like the
if you
teleporter, you can always go back to it. But I never think of that, or I die before then. So
but
it's
that's the
like
other thing
whatever.
is like that first biome now I'm so good at it that I'll just sit there and grind in it and then I'll teleport back and forth all those areas and just
Yeah,
kind of milk,
yeah.
get steroid myself up, get real beefy and then move on.
Yeah, yeah. So but yeah, once you beat that second boss, I would recommend one of the fast, maybe even guided weapons or something like that for those drones. Man, they get pretty rough.
All right.
They do. Just when you see a big flying machine thing, oh, not big, it's a pretty small flying machine, and like 5 of them will pop out at once
Well, it's probably
with
gonna take
guided
me.
rockets and kamikaze. There's nowhere to hide.
It's probably gonna take me another 10 hours before I can beat this second boss. But
That's okay, man. That's okay. That second boss was a lot of fun, but man, it was stressful.
yeah. So I guess I'm I'm saying, hey, fucking buy this game. Oh, you bought? I bought it full 70. I think you had like a little gift money left over, but I bought it full $70.
So, I have the PlayStation credit card, which anybody can get. It's through Community Bank or whatever. And if you spend money on the PlayStation Store over time, you actually get multipliers for your points. Like if you buy stuff from the Sony store, like direct store, also the PlayStation Network store, you get like 4 times the points. And I had enough to get like $30 in PlayStation money. I it's pretty often, like several times a year, I'm cashing in like $20 things because I purposefully spend money on my credit card and just pay it off every month. And it's really easy way to get free money for the PlayStation Store. And of course, any credit card has a shitty interest rate. So just
Right.
make sure you spend within your means and pay it off every month.
But
You don't want to accrue that.
do you, how do you feel about the $70 games, though?
Yeah, it's hard. I don't buy a whole bunch of games these days, so it's not as bad. Because oftentimes I'll buy deals, but every once in a while there's a new game like I gotta have this. Like I did that for Demon Souls. I was excited for that, and also dreadfully scared to buy it. Like, oh, I'm never gonna
Right.
beat this fucking game. Why am I gonna spend $70 on it?
I was
But
scared. I was scared for Returnal. It's like, oh man, I want to support this, but man, what if I just don't like it? And then I
yeah,
was really happily surprised that I've been so into
So
it. So
like anything, just you leave it up to your heart, your radar. Is like if you don't think you like the game or it doesn't have certain things that you really appreciate about games, just wait. Most games go on sale. It's not Nintendo, so you're going to be able to get it for under $50 someday.
oh yeah, for sure.
So just chill out. You don't have to have it on launch. There's plenty of other games probably that you've never played that are on free PlayStation Plus or on the sale for the week. Sometimes they have a sale every week. Sometimes they have
Right.
a sale every month. So it just there's really no reason to combat the $70 price tag. If you're not for it, cool. You don't have to have it on launch. There's going to be plenty of people buying it when you buy it. So if you want to talk about it in 3 months, cool. There's other people that are going to be buying it in 3 months that you can talk about with.
Right.
So I wouldn't worry about that so much.
But hey, hopefully you can listen to this podcast. I mean, Jared and I are extremely positive on this game. I know this is not a full review because we haven't played the entire game, but I feel like from what we've played, I think it's I mean, I think it's a must buy, and I think it's almost a contender for game of the year. I mean, it's a solid. I mean, I haven't beat it. Obviously, I have no idea, but I mean, it's such a solid, and it's a gamer ass game. It's video games. It's like raw video games.
If you love video games, you've been playing video games, or even if you're like an old arcade buff, you like those hard, difficult arcade games, you throwing quarters in left and right. This is that type of game, just with a camera. If you're good at controlling a camera in a game and you want to shoot stuff, there you go. You just don't have to throw a bunch of quarters at it. It's a second later you're playing the game again after you die. It's super quick. And it's super, it feels good to play. It really does. It feels good. Even if you don't make it super far, you probably learned something new, how to take something out a little better, or, learning different tactics, stuff like that. You're always educating yourself on this game. It's one you really just want to focus on, and it just really, really enjoy it. Don't take it seriously. Just play it like it's a video game,
And
you don't have to worry about the story and the characters, blah blah blah. You can just have fun
and be open to it. Like, just kind of learn it. Don't expect that the first 2 times you die, that's you're doing something wrong. It's a mentality you kind of have to break. This game is a game where you're gonna have to die. That's how you learn how to play the game, I think. And I mean, Jarrod's played some other like Bloodborne and Demon Souls, so he's kind of used to that. But for me, I've never really spent time with these type of games where you have to die to learn how to play the game. And don't be afraid to die. It just means you have to start over and figure out what you did wrong, and it's a new experience. And I think that's why it kind of broke me out of my kind of video game burnout.
Well, earlier I mentioned that I don't remember exactly what popped up when you're starting the game. And that was actually one of the things that popped up when you start the game is a warning like, hey, this game is difficult and you're expected to die. Just go with it and have fun.
And
not that exact verbiage,
No.
of course, but it really does say this is a difficult game, but just take your time
and dying
enjoy it.
And dying triggers things too. Early on in the game, dying triggers cutscenes that show you how to do other things. So don't feel like you have to do it all. If you're new and you don't know, you don't have to figure it all out right away.
Yeah, and so also for just curiosity's sake, like you can turn around and go back in the ship.
Oh yeah.
And that's where you get your dailies, where you can do a daily battle, or I haven't done a daily yet. So
like
you can explain that.
Yeah.
It's like what, a room full of enemies?
Yeah, it's like a room full of enemies, and there's like a leaderboard, and you just have to kind of complete it. And if you complete it, you get whatever. You get your daily reward. But you can also do it. You can also do it to like be higher up on the leaderboard.
Yeah. So also in front of you, like right when you go back in the ship, there's a computer that says something is lodged in the cargo bay, but don't deal with it until later. So I'm assuming that's a story thing. And if you go to the left, there's a bed you can sleep in, which will trigger a quick dream. So those happen, there I haven't seen a whole bunch of different ones, but so you can also go to the right and go to the cockpit, which sometimes you can sit in the pilot seat, and it'll trigger more stuff. So, there's things to do.
Little story
If
elements.
if you just like need a quick break, just go into your ship.
There's also in the cockpit, not the cockpit, but so just to the right of the main computer where it shows you your stats, there's some other outfits too you can select.
Oh, what? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have 3 outfits unlocked.
Did you pre-order it?
Nope. Well, yes, but
Okay, so that's why you have
they
those.
weren't unlocked. They weren't unlocked right away. It wasn't until later. So I don't know, and I don't think I got anything. I don't think there was any pre-order bonuses on.
Yeah, there were.
Not for.
Oh, no.
not
I
the
don't think there
basic-
were. Okay, that's
maybe on
they
the
have like
deluxe. Maybe
the
on the
premium $80 version or something like
yeah,
that.
but
that
on the
comes with some extra stuff.
basic version, I don't think so. So you might want to check. There's like a little like storage rack just to the right of the computer, and there's some outfits that unlock throughout the game.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to take a look at that. I never noticed because it's usually pretty apparent where you can hit the button. There's a very apparent circle that you can track and then click on with triangle, and it's there. But I haven't noticed anything like that, and
They're just small variants. They're not like super crazy, but they're
that's all right.
Just kind of cool
That's
stuff.
all right.
I changed
Just,
mine.
I like the costume she has. I think it's pretty cool. It's not like over the top sci-fi crazy costume or anything like that. It's like, yeah, this looks like a suit she could get down and dirty with. Okay, cool.
Well, Jarrod, do you have anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
I just want more time to play it, man.
Yeah.
I'm 11 hours deep in this weekend, and it's hard to play games during the weekdays. And I'm on vacation in a week.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
So he's gonna
But
beat it.
then,
Gonna beat it pretty
then
soon.
I already spent like my super gaming money, and like Resident Evil Village comes out soon. This month is also Biomutant.
Yeah, end of the
So
month. End of the
God,
month.
yeah. So maybe I hope to buy Biomutant, but then shortly after that will be Ratchet and Clank in June. So like I've been holding my money for
Right.
games, and then all of a sudden, like, bam! Within 2 months, all the games that I'm really interested in at this point are going to be exploding in my face. It's hard.
What we should do. I mean, I want to play Biomutant too, but I really want to play Ratchet and Clank. We should go halvesies on Biomutant because it's a PS4 game.
Well, only if you share your PSN account with me. Remember, you're digital only.
No, but I would play it on PS4. So if I got the PS4 disc,
so you'd get the disc. Okay.
or if you got the disc, or if you got I gave you $30 and you got the disc. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm.
Okay.
That's what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah, totally. Yeah, I gotcha.
Anyway.
Okay, yeah. Buy one and both of us trade up.
Yeah,
Cool.
and then I'll probably buy Ratchet. Obviously, I have to buy Ratchet on my PS5, so that'll be digital.
Yeah,
for me only,
yeah.
but,
I want to. Yeah.
But
of course.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so let's get out of here. Get Returnal, guys. If you're interested, seriously, check it out. It's super fun. I love it.
So this is a game that would benefit for like a quick 3-run demo.
Yeah,
Like
maybe,
die 3 times
maybe.
and the demo's over. That would be so awesome. Not this 30-minute demo thing Resident Evil did, but I think the game would really benefit from a demo because a lot of people would jump in and probably get through quite a bit of it in one or 2 lives. I don't know how much they'd be able to do, but just anybody being able to see it, it's different. Like if you watch somebody stream it, you don't get to feel the controller.
Oh, we haven't even really talked about that. Like,
Yeah,
how
we
the
didn't.
DualSense, how like you slightly pull the trigger, and it zooms
yeah.
in, and then you
I don't
press
know.
it all
I don't
the
know
way.
how
to explain it, but it's.
I don't know how we dropped that ball where we didn't even talk about the controller, but everybody, people listening to this podcast, I assure you, listen to other podcasts, but the controller for the PS5 is a complete joy.
It's a game changer. It's literally a game changer.
And
I think so.
yeah, a lot of people will tell you that the PS5 is worth the purchase just for this freaking controller, and this game is really a selling point for it.
For sure. 100%.
I think that's the easiest way to state it.
Like, I didn't realize that for the dash, tap, light dash, hard press, long dash.
Yeah, it does a tutorial at the beginning, David.
No,
Where the hell were you?
I didn't get that.
Oh, come on. Yeah, it
I did
does.
not
Come
see
on.
that.
Oh,
I did
you're
not see
so
that.
out of it.
I
Were
did
you
not
high or
see-
something? Jeez,
I was
dude.
not high. I did not see that tutorial at all. I must have hit the button, just
Yeah.
didn't even see it. I didn't even realize that if you like light touch
I
it.
read something on the screen when it was teaching me about the dash. It does notify you. You just have to read.
have to read. I mean, I read the other stuff.
Like reading and things.
Reading
I
and
know
things.
it sucks, but there is reading in the game.
All right, let's get out of here. I want to thank you all for listening. And I want. Oh, you know, before we do that, we also do a beer podcast. Jarrod and I, and the other two guys that aren't here tonight, Aaron and Dave. At
Couch Co-hop.
Yes, we drink beer. And some of you guys that listen to us for a long, long time, you guys might be thinking like, you guys don't release enough episodes. Well, if you like just to listen to us, the beer podcast is what's more prevalent right now. I feel like video games right now for us is like when something cool happens, we'll record an episode. But if you want to hear us every week, the beer podcast is probably the better way to go. So if you go to you like search for Couch Co-hop on iTunes, Spotify, Google, you'll hear us every week. If you just want video games, it's going to be, I don't know, we probably won't talk again. I don't know, Biomutant. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's places to comment if you want more. I mean, that's up to you.
I'm not going to
But
talk
as Ian said, he's been kind of in a game lull, so he'll probably play this game for another week or so and be in another lull. I'll be playing all sorts of shit. I beat a lot of games in the last month, and
well, I beat some games, but
yeah. So I mean, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, just comment. We'll either just comment back, or if you want an episode about the crap we've been playing, mostly old stuff, nothing new. Newish. We can do that. I like talking about video games. I really do. Just nobody else has really been playing much. Dave, Wreckfest, Aaron, nothing. Ian, a little bit. Me, whatever the fuck I can get my hands on.
Yeah, so I mean, we're not going away, but it's just a little slower. So I mean, stick with Couch Co-op, we're fine. But if you want to hear our voices all the time, we drink beer all the time. So it's an easier, shorter podcast. We can control
if you've been with us since the beginning, you know sometimes we take a break for maybe 6 months at a time and come back in full force, record for a couple years at a time. You know, we don't get any fan feedback, so we just do this for fun.
For sure.
You know, it's just us four dudes talking to each other. Sometimes we have another dude.
You'll definitely, I will
100%
100% promise you'll hear us again for Ratchet and Clank. So in June, you'll definitely get another episode.
yeah, I'm going to buy that on lunch.
Anyway, let's get out of here. I want to thank you all for listening, and I want to thank Jarrod for joining me.
Always good to be here.
Yeah. You can leave feedback on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word, no hyphen. Remember to please subscribe, share, iTunes, Spotify, leave a review. Those always help, supposedly. We don't know. We've been doing this for so long. Who knows? For Couch Co-op.
Are you going to migrate?
Oh, yeah, we're going to migrate. But you guys shouldn't. We're going to migrate the podcast to Anchor. But you guys that subscribed shouldn't notice a thing. It should be, once it happens, you shouldn't notice a damn thing. So hopefully if it works, it won't be a big deal. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. Anyway, I want to thank you all for joining us, Jarrod and I on the couch. Reminding you to please be excellent to each other. Let's play
Woo!
and...
Couch Co-op.